All right, greetings, greetings, greetings. This is Coach Veronica Marie, and I'm here today with a short teaching on projection. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing to this channel. Also, consider sharing the video with someone who may need it. I am not on YouTube, I'm on Zoom, so I can't see live comments. However, if you comment, I'll be sure to read them. So give me 1 minute and I'll get started. All right, let's get started. Now, this teaching is going to be super short, but super potent. So grab your pen and paper if you like to take notes. When I'm talking about projection here, I'm talking about the unconscious way you place parts of your unintegrated shadow onto others. Okay. So it's a way that you deal with your unintegrated shadow. So let me define some things here. What is your shadow? If you're new to shadow work, or even if you're a person who regularly participates in shadow work, you never can hear too much information about it. And that's my firm belief about anything. You never can hear too much because every time you listen, you learn something else, maybe not about what is being said, but about yourself and the way that you hear. And it hits you in a different place each time because each time you're in a different mood, a different state of being, coming from different experiences and such. So we never can hear too much. Your shadow is the sum. We're talking about the sum, all of the parts of you that you are unaware of. These can be positive attributes. These can be attributes that don't serve you. Notice I said don't serve you. Okay. I don't want us to look at this as positive and negative and begin to polarize. I want you to understand that there's some parts of you that don't serve you, some parts of you that do, some parts of you that you see very positive, other parts you have not learned to value. Okay. So on the positive spectrum, we have hidden gifts, hidden skills, hidden abilities. We have hidden desires, right? All of that may not be in your awareness. So let me give you an example. When I entered into ministry, I was unaware that I had a love for ministry. I was unaware that I had a love for speaking. I was unaware that I would be interested at all in teaching anybody much of anything. And so when people would tell me, I see this gift in you, I would deny it. I'd be like, no, not me. Am I saying every time someone sees something in you, it's part of your shadow? No. But I am saying it's a possibility. Okay. A lot of times people see things in your shadow that you don't see, and you will deny that it's there because the nature of it is unconscious. It is beneath your awareness. So you think it's not there. but other people can see it. Usually, you are the last person to see your shadow aspects, usually. And many people get offended, they get defensive, they, move into all manners of hurt, blame, accusation, and such, simply because they don't understand the shadow. Okay. So I'm going to try to be very thorough, but very brief. But already I'm thinking it's going to take another video. Okay. So that's in short what I'm talking about when I say shadow. When I say unintegrated shadow, I'm referring to the fact that you are unaware that these things exist inside of you, these qualities, these frequencies, you're unaware of it. And as a result, you have no way to use this in your everyday life because you're not aware of it. Okay. You have no way of alchemizing it, bringing it up to date. In other words, integrating, bringing it into your daily existence, right? Such that you are empowered to direct it. Okay. So if you have unintegrated shadow components, and we all do, then you are very much unaware of some of the ways that you behave. You are unaware of some of the things you believe. You are unaware of some of your giftings and desires. And you are unaware of places of shame, unaware of places that are still in a hurt narrative. You are unaware, right? And so, but you don't know that you're unaware. However, these frequencies are operating in your environment, in your relationships, in your reactions, in the ways you see the world. Your unintegrated shadow is showing up in your word choice. It's showing up in how you react. It's showing up in the ways you communicate. And so, if you don't see the value of your shadow, the unintegrated parts, if you haven't come to value all parts of your being, you will begin to deny and suppress the parts you don't like. You will begin to deny and suppress the parts that others don't like. As a result, it fades into the background of your existence. But remember, this frequency is very much operating in your daily world. You are just unaware. So here's a question. If you know that there are aspects of yourself that you are unaware of, wouldn't you want to know? Well, the way it happens is interactions in the world bring emotions to our awareness. We feel some kind of way. Now, again, if you don't understand shadow work, or you're not very far in it because maybe you just started, or maybe you have mastered a particular part of it, but there's still other parts, levels and such, then you don't see what I mean. You think it's other people. It's the way they spoke to you. It's what they said. It's how they said it. It's how they went about it. It's what they did or what they didn't do. If you are unaware of how you suppress things within yourself, those frequencies are still there, and they will come up into your awareness, and your body is going to have to understand what to do about it, because the frequencies are not meant to stay in you, because those frequencies are not up to date, right? They need to be updated like a computer system. And so they're not going to stay suppressed down for long, okay? They're going to come up at times, right? When you are interacting with the world around you. And again, if you don't understand this shadow work, you're going to think it's other people. And you're going to blame, and you're going to say it's them and how they are, and you're going to use words, right? Those words come from deep within you. Some people may say, oh, it's just words. It's not that deep. It really is. Now, if you don't want to look that far, I understand, but it really is. Your words don't just come from the top of your mind. Your words are strung together in sentences, and those sentences come from a stream of thought called your belief systems, right? And so if I tell you that there's a way for you to get to know yourself even better, all the parts of you, and you could ascend or elevate or evolve quicker if you knew this, wouldn't you want to? So here's the question: are you ready to really look at your shadow? Are you ready? Some people say yes, but you can only look as deeply into your shadow, right? As you love those parts, as you value those parts. If you have low value for those parts, you're not going to look that deeply. But people, situations, and circumstances will bring them to your awareness. But because you don't value them, you don't like them, you're going to project. You're going to say it's the other people. You're going to tell them it's them and all those things. But you are unaware that your shadow component has really taken over your system. Projection is the way your unintegrated shadow components are placed on others, and you're not aware of it. And this really ruins a lot of relationships because you begin to see a person a certain way, but understand what you're seeing is your own shadow. Let me give you an example. When I grew up, my mom didn't like mukbang, okay, mukbang, however we say that, right? Because that didn't really exist in terms of households, right? So she didn't know that people eating food could be something that others want to listen to when they're crunching and smacking and such. So when we would sit at the table, she would be so annoyed if somebody made some noise with their mouth when they ate. She would just fly off the handle. It was a pet peeve, right? And so, because of that, I began to hate that I made any noise. So, even if I was chewing something crunchy, I wanted to close my mouth and get it as soft as possible so I wouldn't be making the noise, because now the noise that I heard from chewing was magnified and I was getting a response that I didn't like from my mother. So, I really wanted to act to suppress that. Let's stop munching, crunching, smacking, making sounds. Okay, we don't like that. Mainly not because I don't like doing it, I don't like her response. I don't like her disapproval, right? And because I don't like her disapproval, this thing that isn't really wrong is actually quite natural. I suppressed it. I didn't like eating in front of people. I wouldn't finish my food. I would wait until they left, like all of these things, right? So then I learned not to like the sound of my own chewing. So guess what happened? I began to not like the sound of other people chewing. So if I'm around if I was around a person and they started crunching and munching, I really like it now. I go figure, right? But if they started crunching and munching, I would get so annoyed, like almost like how uncouth. I would get very self-righteous, like, oh, they can't even close their mouth. I hate eating around. What am I doing? I'm projecting my own internalized shadow components onto someone else. Now they annoy me. They annoy me. And all they have to do is stop. Don't eat sloppy. Then I won't feel like that. Ooh, I got to get away from them. I can't eat that. All of this is going on. What is that reflecting? Because that person is just sitting there minding their business, eating their food. I had a lot going on, a lot of shadow, right? And a person who understands how the shadow works would sit there and be like, okay, that person needs to do some shadow work. Because you're creating suffering, honey, and you don't have to. And that wasn't even my thought. That was my mom's thoughts. That wasn't even mine. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so now I gotta judge it and call it something. It's trifling, it's sloppy. They're a sloppy eater. They have no table manners. Now I gotta call it something. In my head, I think that's right because that's my reality. My shadow rules that area, is what I needed to understand. I hope I'm making sense. So I really do have to stop this video because I have a session. But I want to come back and talk about other ways that we project. The people around you, when you have experiences inside of you, that experience is happening inside of you. It's not happening outside of you. Things are transpiring, but the experience of what is transpiring is happening inside of you. And I just got to keep saying that because some people think, no, no. So you're saying they didn't do anything? No, I'm saying they probably did what you saw, but your experience of what you saw depends on your interpretation. And sometimes your interpretations are from your shadow, your unintegrated shadow components. And something that is not bad, you will be calling it bad and creating suffering for you and others simply because you are unaware. So let's increase awareness. So as I leave this video, I leave you with a little bit of self-discovery work. Anytime you get annoyed, irritated, bothered, and you just start feeling negative within yourself, remember this. Number one, I feel like this because of the way I interpret it, right? Is this interpretation on point, or could something else be going on? Can I ask about it? If I care about the person, I'm going to ask and not just say, you. No, that's projection. That's a person who doesn't understand what to do with their discomfort, right? You're going to ask yourself, could there be some other reason? And you're going to get curious and ask about it, or play around with some other reasons, right? And see how they feel and see how true they are. So you can choose states of being that suit you. This is not about spiritual bypassing, okay? Because the next part of it is, why did that bother me so much? What do I believe should have been happening? And is that true? In this case, is it true at all? Am I in need of refurbishing some thoughts and ideas, or do I like feeling that way? Or do I like thinking that way? This is also shadow work. The things you detest and can't stand in other people, that experience is happening inside of you and it's reflecting a belief system. And you need to decide whether or not that belief system is serving you, because it's running your show. It's running your show. All right. So when I come back, I want to talk about more about projections as it relates to assumptions and your unintegrated shadow components. My name is Coach Veronica Marie. I offer one-on-one coaching sessions. You can find me on my website at veronicamarie.com. I'm on social media. You can find me there. Just hashtag Veronica Marie. You'll find me. Tonight at 8:30, I am teaching people how to come out of cycles of conflict. I'm teaching you about the dynamic of conflict and what you can do to come out of it, beginning with you. And then we're going to work around toward the other person. That's tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time by Zoom. If you want to be invited, you're going to have to send me an email before 8 o'clock. veronicamarie@mail.com. Send me your email address. I will send you the payment link. It's $15. And then I will send you the link to log on. If you're on social media, there's an easier way. Just go in my profile, click on the link. My link tree will pop up and it'll say join something Sundays at 8:30, whatever it says. I